Did you know that 1/3 of U.S. college students are affected by hunger and seek assistance at food pantries? It's disheartening to know that a fellow classmate or friend may have to choose between eating a meal and purchasing school supplies. Thankfully, at U Toledo, we have a food pantry right on campus, and it's open to everyone free of charge. This month, at the Crop Walk, you can learn more about rocket fuel and interact with those working to reduce college hunger at UT. This 5K takes place on Sunday, September 22nd, starting at 1 p.m. Kickoff is on the lawn at Toledo Campus Ministry, which is located immediately across the street from parking lot 13. For more information, contact Pastor Amy at TCM Executive Director at gmail.com or access information online at crophungerwalk.org/Toledo. Once more, crophungerwalk.org/Toledo, Ohio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative. And this is AJ with the Plexi Film Show. And today we are talking about Pulp Fiction. And I have some guests. Welcome. How are you guys? Can you say your names?
Hi, my name is Asa. I'm doing fantastic tonight. Super excited to be on the show.
My name is Olivia, and I'm so super excited. I love Pulp Fiction, and this is a super cool show.
All right. We're going to start with the description, like I do with every episode, and then I usually just break down each episode as I go. The description of this movie is Vincent and Jules are hitmen with a penchant for philosophical discussions. In this ultra-hip, multi-strength crime movie, their storyline is intertwined with those of their boss, gangster Marcellus. Did I say that right?
Marcellus Wallace.
You got it.
There you go. His wife, Mia, struggling with boxer Butch Coolidge, Master 5 Winston Wolfe, and nervous pair of armed robbers, Pumpkin and Honey Bunny. So yeah, that's the description of the movie. How would you guys rate this movie and why?
Okay, are you saying from 1 to 10?
Yes.
Okay, 1 being not good,
Yes.
10 being phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Okay, just a little background. I am a weird movie fanatic.
So am I, so it kind of makes sense.
And Quentin Tarantino is one of my favorite directors, if not my favorite director of all time. Pulp Fiction is in my top 3 favorite movies of all time. So for me, Pulp Fiction is an instant 9.5 out of 10.
Really?
Yes, there are a few factors why I rate it 9.5 and I give it, 0.5 off. But for me, it is a very solidly rated film, in my opinion. Olivia?
So, this is so hard because when it comes to Tarantino movies, I'm not as well versed, and I don't love all of his movies.
I can agree to that.
My favorite movie aside from Pulp Fiction is Django. I think that one's great, but Pulp Fiction's cool. I would rate it probably 9 out of 10. I want to say 10 out of 10, but 9 out of 10. Just because all of the stories and how they line up, it's so cool. I just think it is true artwork.
Mm-hmm.
AJ, how much time do we have to talk about whatever we want to talk about this movie?
We got until midnight.
Okay. Perfect. So, Tarantino has released, I believe, 9 films.
Yeah, I can fact check.
I believe he has released 9 films. And I can do them in order without a doubt, I believe. How many is it, do we know? Still fact checking. We're still fact checking over here.
I think it's 12.
3, 6, 9, 12. Really? No, because that's not directed by him.
10.
10 movies.
Films.
Okay. So I was close.
I would say out of all of his movies, I'll be honest with you, you're going to hate me for this. I've never been a big Tarantino fan.
That's fair. Yeah,
Neither.
It is a very acquired taste to be a Tarantino fan.
But I do gotta say, Pulp Fiction is my favorite out of his.
I would say it's my second favorite Tarantino.
I'll be honest with you. I try to get into Kill Bill. I couldn't get into
You know
it.
what?
Don't like it.
Okay,
I only like the fight scenes. Otherwise, I don't care for the story.
that's such a good take. I do love Kill Bill.
How many
but
Kill Bills are there? Like,
two.
did it really need to be 2
Yeah.
movies? though?
Yeah, I do like Kill Bill, but Pulp Fiction is my second favorite. My first favorite is Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
But the Reservoir Dog, my gosh, I can't speak.
Dogs,
Reservoir Dogs is Tarantino's first movie,
which is actually pretty good.
which for a director's first movie, and he only had $1 million budget. That's pretty incredible.
That's on the cheap end too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's on the cheap end. But Pulp Fiction being his second movie and just the artistic, just creativity, like flow is incredible. The way he directed the shots, it is phenomenal. It's got to be one of the greatest movies of all time.
All right. I want to tell you my review for it and why. This is just my opinion. Great story. Nothing wrong with the story. The scenes are laid out really well. Perfectly fine. The story ended up really well. In my opinion, I would give this movie either a 6 or a 7, just because the editing of the movie wasn't that great.
I agree.
The editing, like I already stated this before we started, but the opening credits bothered the crap out of me how it was laid out.
I get that. I totally
And
understand.
maybe that's a style which I can get, but that's just my personal opinion. I couldn't handle that.
It's definitely a Tarantino style. Like he meant to, like he obviously did that for a purpose. And I didn't understand it either, but I appreciate it so much because it's so interesting. I totally understand that point of view, and I get the editing point. It took me, I think, 3 watches
to understand
of Pulp Fiction.
I mean, today
to
was
really
my
understand
first
it,
watch, so
which
makes sense.
Which is crazy that today is your first watch. That is so funny. But yeah, it took me more than 1 or 2 times watching it to understand the story and to really appreciate it.
Of course. What's your guys' favorite character from the film?
Without a doubt, I have to go Vincent Vega.
I'd say Jules for me, just because he has so many iconic one-liners.
Oh,
I agree.
he's so funny. Okay, I have one very very bold character opinion. I think Lance is the funniest in the movie.
Lance?
The guy who sold Vincent the H.
Oh,
And he's
yep.
just like, he's like,
he only showed up for like maybe 2 minutes.
and he's so funny. It's like,
he was very chill.
Vincent's like, hey man, I got a girl here and she's dying on me, man. And Vince is like not answering the phone. He's literally watching cartoons in his pajamas, eating cereal on the couch. And he just does not care.
I do have to admit, Vincent crashing into his house was probably the funniest bit ever.
Oh, it's so funny. Okay.
And you just had to just straight face too, like, bro.
Like, I got a girl who's dying. Like, it's my boss's wife who I got to take out on a date who's literally dying. That car, okay, there's a story about that car that Vincent drives in the movie.
Go ahead.
It was Quentin Tarantino's personal car.
Oh, crap.
It was his personal car.
He knew that he was going to get money from this, so he's like, destroy my car.
Exactly. After the movie was shot, that car was stolen.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, that car was stolen after the movie and didn't, couldn't find it for years. Had the cops, like, it was a full investigation on where is this car. Like 19 years later, he found the car and bought it back.
That is crazy. You
He had
probably,
to buy it?
Yeah.
I mean, someone probably stole it and is like, it's mine now. Like, it's my property. Like, you know how it is.
I
with
would
people.
legally dispute that. I would be so upset.
Oh, I would be too.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Just a fun little fact there for you.
Oh, we got a lot of fun facts. I got you on that one. Favorite scene. It could be more than one, but like favorite scene.
Jackrabbit Slims.
Okay.
Okay. In particular, when Vincent and Mia are sitting across from each other after she gets her milkshake.
That is like the coolest scene too. Like, I would love to go to a place like that. Be in a car while in a restaurant would be so cool.
It's just a beautiful scene. and he's rolling a hand, like he's rolling his own
A joint
cigarette.
right in front.
Rolling his own cigarette, and it's just that awkward silence. And Link Ray's Rumble, that song, plays in the background, and it's perfect. And she afterwards goes something like, "Isn't it funny how you can sit in silence and it not be awkward?"
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and it gets me going every time. Like, that is such a good scene.
It's a crazy scene for sure.
Super good. If I have to think of my favorite scene, I can't name it, but I can describe it. It's when he's got the guys. It's when Vince and why can't I remember his name? Jules.
Are you saying when they get captured?
No, it's when he's talking to the younger guys
Okay.
and the gunshots.
Okay.
And Jules has his whole line about like
Ezekiel 25,
Oh,
17.
I have a whole topic on that.
Oh, that is my favorite scene because it's like it's funny, but it's powerful, and it's just like it's just a crazy scene.
English, do you speak it?
What ain't no country I ever heard of? Yeah, it's golden. But yeah, that whole monologue when he's delivering, the Bible verse is like, "And I, the Lord, will strike vengeance upon."
It's just
so good.
I love Samuel L. Jackson. Such a great actor.
He was made for that role.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That is him. My favorite scene would have to be the literally first time you get introduced to Vince and Jules when they're talking about the feet.
Yeah, man.
They talk about that literally for 5 minutes straight, and they get to the place and they still talk about it.
Yeah, when they're about to roll up on these guys and
And they're like, okay, let's be serious, and then re-walk down the hallway.
yeah, it's so funny, dude. That is, you're like, okay, these two hitmen are having conversations, like you said in the bio, like these deep philosophical conversations about feet. It's so funny. I agree that it's unironically funny, which makes it that much better. But I also think it's really funny because in all of Tarantino's movies, he has a foot shot. Like
Tarantino had to have a fuck king somewhere,
dude,
for sure.
Exactly.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
weirdo.
Every movie there is a foot shot, so it's like that's just very Tarantino-esque.
Another scene. This is just for the shots. I personally thought it was really well like overlapped and transitioned for sure. Would be when we get first introduced to the H word. It just has such good shots for that. Lighting up the flame.
I agree.
Spoon, it was just perfectly. I don't know why
You know
it
what?
was like really well shot for no reason.
It's funny you say that because that has never even came to my mind when I'm watching that movie of how artistic of a shot that is.
That was probably the most artistic throughout the whole film for sure.
I agree, and I never thought about it until you just said something about it. That's so funny.
So yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The movie's cool because it's a serious movie. There's action, but there's comedy, and the comedy's good.
The comedy is golden.
It's not like forced.
It's not forced, exactly.
It isn't. It's just thrown in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're about to go on a break. Do you guys have anything else to add before we go on our first break?
Let's get to this break, and we'll get some things brewing up in here.
All right. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. So it'll be about 10:20 when we start back up. So that's 6 minutes actually. But I'll give you guys some time to listen to this beautiful and wonderful soundtrack. So yeah, this is AJ with the Plexi Film Show. Enjoy some of the soundtrack. Welcome back, everyone. This is the Plexi Film Show on WXUT 88.3, and this is AJ, and we're continuing to talk about Pulp Fiction. And I am with
Asa
And Olivia.
And so yeah, the first topic we're going to talk about is Ezekiel 25:17.
Let's go.
So usually whenever Jules references Ezekiel 25:17 is usually before he kills someone, which is very obvious. But I'm going to go more in depth of what the meaning of it was. And yeah. So Ezekiel 25:17 in the Bible specifically, it was worded before I go back into what Jules version of it. So the original Bible one says, "I will execute great vengeance on them with rightful rebukes. Then they will know that I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon them," which is very, very similar to what Jules says. But what Jules says is a lot longer. So let me pull that up real quick on my phone. So yeah.
It is such a cool, like, just cool monologue.
It
the whole
is.
thing.
All right, I'm gonna try my best to cut out any cuss words that are in there. So Jules' long version is, "The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers, and you will know I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you." Which to me, that is more like the modern English version of the Bible verse, which I find it more interesting and more creative and more broken down than what the actual Bible says. But the history behind that verse would be many people would attack God in the Old Testament as immoral, which also attacks God's character, right?
Yeah.
But it's not the same exact quote like I mentioned before. God freed the Israelites out of Egypt. God then would not let them take over the promised land until 400 years later. And the reason for that is because they would sin until they not sin anymore and like fulfill the Lord after that. But then, when time arrived to settle in the promised land, they once they got to the promised land, they would disobey God again. Which then God would warn them, hey, if you keep disobeying these orders, you will be punished for that. So that's what the meaning behind that whole verse is.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of like unrelated, but I kind of wanted to throw in some history
I think it's needed.
behind it.
Because, okay, looking at that from the movie standpoint, these people are disobeying the orders of the mob boss.
Yes.
And so he's obviously striking vengeance upon the people, also in air quotes, the Israelites, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people who are disobeying him. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I also saw a theory of disobeying, like the three guys are disobeying what Jules is saying. And like his gun is
Yeah. Yeah.
his,
Yep.
his disobey.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Very good.
I want to
Very
throw in.
interesting.
Sorry, you were saying?
No, go ahead.
I have some theories. I actually found some really small theories,
Okay.
and then in-depth one. There was one that I found that was really cool. But I'm going to start it with some basic ones, which is Marvin's betrayal to Jules and Vincent. I don't know if you guys know, Marvin is the one that Vincent accidentally kills.
Okay, the younger African American gentleman.
Yep.
Yeah.
That stands by the door and is there to help him out. But
Yeah.
without standards, they finally figure out that Vincent was there to betray him, which they figure out by the guy in the bathroom with a gun chasing out at him. And yeah, which explains a lot, because if you think about it, Marvin's just quiet the whole time. He's not saying a single thing.
No, he's kind of like shook by the whole instance.
He's just kind of double shifting type thing. He's helping one team, but he's doing his own thing. So yeah. Another one is, why did Butch really rescue Marcellus?
Okay.
Before I answer that question, do you have any ideas?
I have a couple ideas. Oops, sorry, keep hitting the mic. Okay. So when Vincent meets Butch in the bar early in the movie, Vince says something like he calls Butch a palooka. A lot of people don't know what palooka means. So Butch is a boxer.
Yes.
And a palooka is someone who purposefully throws a boxing match just to get paid.
Mm-hmm. Which is what
Marcellus wanted Butch to do, is to lose on purpose. Butch accidentally kills the man
guy
he's boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So ask the question one more time.
Why did Butch really rescue Marcellus or Merciless?
Marcellus. Okay, so Butch really rescued Marcellus because Butch's head was on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So he shot Vincent because Vincent's Marcellus' hitman. So he kills Vincent because he's scared that he's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Coming home from that, he gets in a car wreck and he hits Marcellus.
Mm-hmm. And they're fighting back and
And
forth.
they're fighting back and forth, and they end up in this pawn shop, yada, yada, yada. Stuff goes down in that pawn shop that we might not be able to say on air.
Mm-hmm.
And so Butch saves Marcellus because he doesn't want to die.
That's part of it.
Okay.
See if you were paying attention to the lines that they were saying. That was hinted throughout some of the lines that they were saying and the history behind Butch.
Let's hear it.
So, you know the watch?
Yeah, Butch's watch that he cannot live without was given to him by his dad in Vietnam after, I don't know if it was Vietnam, whatever war it was.
So,
Korea or something.
It was bought by his grandfather, which was then given to his dad. Then, of course, you know, when Butch's dad dies, Coons then delivers it to Butch because it was requested by Butch's dad.
Also, that was Christopher Walken who did hilarious monologue through that whole scene.
Oh, yeah. And then, so this kind of goes more into the history of Butch's dad. So you know how Butch's dad got captured and then dies and all that?
Yeah.
So it kind of relates to that, as in the fact that pawn shop, right, is where the watch was actually purchased.
Oh, is that real? Is
That's what I found online, so I'm not sure if it's fully true, but that's the video that I was able to find.
And Butch was captured.
Which was very related to that. So Butch pretty much thinks Marcellus as his dad and puts his mindset as, I'm going to save him type of mindset. And so, yeah, and kind of relates to it. And like you said, he's going to die if he doesn't do this anyways. So
right.
It's part of it. Yeah.
I like that theory. That's really interesting.
So, yeah, that's why Butch saved or rescued, whatever you want to say, Marcellus. Do you know, this is a very tiny secret. It's not really theory, or it could be a theory because we never know because the film doesn't particularly say it, because Tarantino films, he lets the audience answer the questions a lot in his films. So do you know Fabian's secret?
Who's that again?
Butch's wife or girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What's her secret?
So the secret, she's mentioned that she wants the hump, right?
Yeah,
The hump stomach. I don't know, like how to the hump in the stomach.
You got it.
So she was just initiating like, I am pregnant, and then Butch just makes a comment, I would punch you for so AKA abortion. That was just her whole secret, which also indicates why she's having all those cravings, why she was listing all what she wanted for breakfast.
Interesting.
Blueberry pancakes and with,
like so many other things
with maple syrup. Yeah.
And then she didn't get her blueberry pancakes. Dude, I feel so bad for her.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Dude, she's kind of, okay, in my opinion, low-key an annoying character. High-key an annoying character, in my opinion.
I can see that, but I can also understand why she's annoying. Because she's not getting that, like, any of her questions answered at all. It's just go, go, go.
That's fair.
I would be annoyed. I would be so annoyed. I would be angry. I would be just like her.
If you didn't get your blueberry pancakes?
Yeah, if I didn't get my blueberry pancakes, I'd be throwing the same fit. Absolutely.
I mean, she did. I mean, Butch gave her the money to get the pancakes, but the place didn't have blueberry pancakes. So she just had a normal, soft pancake. But she got her syrup at least, though.
I'd still be ticked.
I would be too, honestly. So, you know how Mia almost died, right? Do you know why she almost died?
H overdose?
So, if you Okay, I'm going into a little bit of facts of this, and I'll be saying some abbreviation so we don't get in trouble. So, the C word is usually given in a baggie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the substance that starts with the letter H is usually in a balloon. And if you go back, Lance warns Vincent that he's out of balloons, and Vincent was like,
"You're so right."
And Vincent's like, "Okay, that's fine, no worries." But when Mia found that in the jacket, she didn't realize.
Yeah, you're right.
And instead of injecting it, she sniffed it, which caused that reaction.
Huh.
I have never picked up on these things, and I've watched the movie probably 5 times. And I have yet to pick up on any of these
It's
little
just called
hints.
research, and when I realized, I'm like, okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, that's... Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
it's also very understandable to do in the real world, too, because you know how easy it is to mess that up?
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
So if you... Oh, go ahead. You were saying something?
I was just going to say a quick little water break here. It's,
Like
it's
what?
getting hot in the studio.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Very refreshing. Stay hydrated, folks. All right. Do you know what's in the briefcase?
No, and that's what is glorious about that movie.
Do you know what Tarantino calls the stuff in his films that are never discovered,
What's that?
but is the main story, but also not? A MacGuffin. Do you know what a MacGuffin is?
No, but there is the MacGuffin Cup in college football, and I don't even know what that means. So go ahead.
So MacGuffin for film, or according to Tarantino, it's whatever you want to think, and it is, but not the main focus in the film, but it is also part of the story. Because if you think about it, it's still part of the story, really prominent, but it's not focused on it the whole time. It's focused on the characters solely. So that's what a MacGuffin is. So during this video that I was watching to figure out what's in the briefcase, so this is actually a pretty crazy theory, but it kind of makes sense to what all breaks down. So the theory is that Marcellus sold his soul to the devil.
Okay. I haven't heard this.
So yeah, this is the one that I like the most. I thought this was the most interesting. So the whole concept idea is that Marcellus sold his soul to the devil. So the devil took over Marcellus's body, of course, which hired Jules and Vincent. And which explains why do you think that he's,
Yeah.
sold his soul? It's because the code on the briefcase is 666.
Interesting.
Which 666 is the devil's number, or the number of the beast in the Old Testament in the Bible. Which devil takes soul from the back of the head, right? And if you remember, Marcellus has a band-aid and always in the back of his head.
Dude. You're so right.
That's so crazy.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny because throughout the whole film, I was wondering what the heck is going on. Like, that was my main point, because through the whole movie, I thought we were just not going to see what Marcellus's face looks like, because every time we would get introduced, it was just the back of his head. So I was always just focused on the back of his head.
AJ, I hope you accredit these.
Oh, I always credit them on my
theories.
website.
Because whoever created that theory, that makes so much sense. That is insane.
So I always credit my stuff on my website.
My mind is legitimately blown. That is such a good theory.
So the beginning of the film, you get introduced to 3 young guys, which Jules and Vincent try to recover the case, are actual demons. Like, could be demon, like, trying to take it away from them. Everyone else is in dark light, while Vincent and Jules are in the bright light. Like, that's another idea.
Interesting. Huh.
So the 4th demon in the bathroom missed all the shots point blank, because if you think about when Jules and Vincent just stood there, they're in like the Lord's light, which protects them from getting shot, which then Jules proceeds to help the couple. This also hints that Jules' personality and character has progress throughout the film to become a better person, and he wants to help people, which is why he didn't spare the people's life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That is an incredible theory.
And I think that that's so fitting, and maybe why my favorite scene is that scene with the whole monologue, because I feel like there are a lot of undertones throughout the whole film, and with that theory, it kind of ties it all together.
It really does.
That's really cool.
It's funny because when I first saw Vincent putting in the code, I'm like, did he put 666? But his thumb was right over it, so I'm like,
Maybe?
I saw it.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched. I'm like, yep, it's 666.
That's crazy.
And it's funny because if you think about it, when I was watching this video, it kind of breaks it down. The light that is shown in the briefcase would be gold, but gold would be too heavy, and that briefcase could hold up to I don't know how many bars, which be like 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be realistic enough. And he goes into other stuff. It could be diamonds, which could break, so it wouldn't be possible. So, and he comes to this theory, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
That is nuts. I have never thought of it. I've never given it much thought, but like it does. It kind of ties it all in like really well.
It really, really does.
Huh.
Yeah. The movie makes like a little bit more sense now. Because like after 5 watches, there are still things I don't know.
Oh, yeah. If you don't do any of your research outside of it and you're just watching it and you're breaking it down yourself, you can come up with your own theories multiple times every time you watch it.
I love little Easter eggs like that throughout movies. And like fans do such a great job finding things for you.
Oh, for sure.
And that's what makes movies and like, okay, Pulp Fiction is definitely a cult classic. So with a following like that, it literally makes these theories like so much more like enjoyable to listen to. Because usually you hear theories about it and you're like, yeah. This actually makes sense though. A lot of people's theories are always like just obscure and out of the blue and not sane. This makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, this one really caught my attention because I was scrolling through. They're like 1 minute theories, just really quick, straight to the point. And that's what I like about theories. Just get straight to the point. Don't explain 50 words when you can put it down to 1.
Right.
So when this popped up, this was like 3 minutes, and I just felt I'd watched the whole movie within that 3 minutes right then and there when he was explaining about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's crazy.
You guys have any theories on your own? I would say your 5 watches, you would think you would have theories on your own.
So obviously I've always wondered what could be in the case.
Which is everyone's theory.
Or just everyone's theory. And
what you think would be... What did you think was in the briefcase?
I always thought it could be more substances.
More substances?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought, just to be honest. Because
really,
it was Vince opening it, so I kind of just thought about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's like standing over there, smoking it with a cigarette, and just kind of nods his head. Doesn't say anything, obviously. I don't know. Always thought that'd be what it was. But I'm liking this theory that it's a soul, you know?
You have any ideas, Olivia?
I think it's the soul. And I totally just looked on the internet and I was like, theories for, because I haven't given it much thought. I kind of always thought it was just gold.
Yeah.
Because that's the, you know.
I mean, it could.
It could be, but like.
It's your interpretation.
Yeah, but what you said, it's too heavy. And then I just read something that said it's like Elvis's gold suit or something.
It could be so many things. And that's what I love about Tarantino's MacGuffins. It could be whatever you interpret it to be.
I like that. You said it's Elvis's gold suit.
It says Elvis Presley's golden suit. Mia was a fan of the 1950s, so it could be a suit worn by Elvis.
One of my favorite scenes of that movie is the deleted
Which makes
scene.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense. Like I was saying, one of my favorite movies from that...
What's your favorite scene?
One of my favorite scenes from that movie is a deleted scene.
Ooh.
And Mia asks Vince when they first meet up, she goes, "Are you an Elvis man or a Beatles man?"
Why didn't they put that in there?
And Vince goes, "Take a look at me. I'm clearly an Elvis man." And Mia's like good. Like she likes that. And fun fact, Olivia and I, we are dating, happily dating. One of the first questions I ever asked her. The first question I ever asked her when I met her was, "Are you an Elvis girl or a Beatles girl?"
Are you serious?
Yeah, just from that movie. That's how much I like this movie.
Which one are you?
I'm a Beatles girl.
And I'm an Elvis man. So
hey, they're both really great.
Both perfect.
They're both really amazing. So I can agree with both answers.
What are you? Or do you agree with both?
I'll be honest with you, but this is just because I grew up with it more than the other. I would say Elvis.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think Elvis is great. I'm just more of a Beatles girl because I was introduced to it in my high school years, and then the Beatles is everything. And it's like the start of rock and roll, which is a whole other conversation. But yeah.
You know
Elvis
what's
is. I'm so, I just threw my headphones. That's how fast I
how
shot
rude.
up. Elvis is a godfather of rock and roll, not the, but one.
You know what's a theory, or not a theory? One thing that, or yeah, a theory about Elvis that I've heard like so much around the internet.
What's that?
Is that Elvis is just a spawn of the devil.
Interesting.
That's weird. That man,
Like
this
it
is
just
getting-
doesn't make sense. But I'm like,
Yeah, it's getting weird up in here, dude.
I'm like, whatever. And it's funny because if you think about most of Elvis's songs are covers though.
yeah, you're right.
Like Blue
I didn't know
Suede
that.
Shoes is a cover. Heartbreak Hotel is a cover.
Is Suspicious Minds?
I hope not,
Why?
because then my child. If Suspicious Minds is a cover, my whole childhood is like ruined. Sorry, I took off my sweatshirt and like my whole chest is showing.
We're wearing all black tonight, guys.
Yeah, we're all wearing all black just to match with the theme, of
We're
course.
Yep, we're on theme. Except for Asa now.
Yeah, no
What?
reason.
I got hot, guys. It's so hot in here in the studio.
Just because you're in here, that's all.
Oh, hey Jay, you always brighten up my day.
All right. We're gonna be taking a 10-minute break, 10:15. So I'll either be back on at 10:55 or 11 o'clock. So yeah, I'll throw you guys back onto the soundtrack because the soundtrack is amazing. So yeah, I hope you guys I hope you guys return in about 10 to 15 minutes. So yeah, enjoy the soundtrack. This is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative. Welcome back to WXUT 88.3. It is currently 11 p.m. We have 1 hour left of the show, and this is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, and I am with,
Asa,
And Olivia.
and we're gonna be finishing we're halfway, but I barely have much information left, honestly, to talk about. So you were saying something before we came back on. Would you like to throw that on?
yeah. So another one of like I think one of the funniest times in the movies is towards the end when Vince and Jules bring. I forget what was his name. Did you say that young African American man? What is his name?
Marvin?
Marvin? Yeah. When Jules and Vincent bring Marvin back to Jimmy's house, and
Well, Marvin's dead.
yeah, and they have to bring his like
Bloody
and
body.
bloody body in the car back to the house to clean it up. And they call the wolf, who is played by Harvey Keitel.
Mm-hmm.
And those who might not know, Harvey Keitel was in The Godfather, and he was also in Reservoir Dogs. And he's just like literally, he was made to play that part of like a snooty, like know-it-all, I know exactly what I'm doing with these kinds of situations kind of gangster. I think it's
just-
hilarious.
It's funny how he made the whole scene about Vincent requesting for him to say thank you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I shouldn't have to say, yeah.
I don't have to say thank you. And then at the end, he's like, thank you. Now do your job.
Yeah, it's so fun. I love it. I think it's so funny. The other thing I love about Tarantino, this is another
Tarantino always plays as a character in his films.
that. I love that. I also love how Tarantino casts the same people for the majority of his cast.
I mean, most directors or producers do that because if they find an actor that they like, I mean, that's just reality in real life too. They just request them to come back because they do such a good job.
Exactly. Like Uma Thurman is the bride in Kill Bill 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. And
Samuel
Uma
Jackson
Thurman did great in this too.
Incredible. She's one of my favorite actresses. Samuel Jackson is in like nearly every Tarantino movie. Tim Roth, who is the guy at the beginning of Pulp Fiction, who's in the diner.
Diner, yeah.
He is in The Hateful Eight. He's in Reservoir Dogs. Like, he just casts the same people over and over, and I love that about him. I love knowing that you're gonna see one of his reoccurring actors in all of his movies. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Is he reoccurring?
Yeah, he's in Django as
You're in your own world
Mr.
right now.
Candy.
I know he's in Django, but I don't know what else.
He's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, you're right. I always forget that.
I
That's
forgot
a
about that
Tarantino
movie.
Yeah, he's what is his name in that movie? That's like one of my top 3 Tarantino. Oh, what is his name? I lost it. It'll come back to me. Brad Pitt.
I like Brad Pitt.
He's
Brad-
in,
oh my
he's
gosh.
in, Inglorious, and he's also
Off
in.
topic, but have you guys seen Brad Pitt and Bullet Train?
No, that is a movie.
Such a good movie.
It
a
is a good
movie I
movie.
have yet to see.
Honestly, if Brad Pitt was a character, that's Brad Pitt in that
Yeah.
movie.
I agree. I enjoyed Bullet Train. I had to watch like 3 times.
Oh, it's literally just a Clue. It's just a Japanese version of Clue. That's all it is.
You're right.
Or Korean, or Chinese, I don't know. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're so right. That movie was cool. I remember we started it and then we couldn't finish it, and then I'm like, I have to watch this.
I watched it in theaters. Oh my god,
Did
it
you
was so
really?
amazing in
That
theaters.
is so cool.
It was so worth it. I should probably talk about that movie.
Yeah, that would be a good movie.
That would be a great movie.
I really liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood too, just because there was another movie I watched called Charlie Says, and it was the whole backstory through the Charles Manson kind of
Okay.
thing.
Ooh.
And it was super interesting. And then I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood right after that, and it was like both stories all at once.
Mhm.
But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is much funnier with it and different ending and everything. So
My top 3 Tarantino go Once Upon a Time, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs. I love Once Upon a Time because I myself am.
I need to watch that one.
I love anything and everything 60s and 70s, and so
Oh, if you like 60s and 70s, I think it's 70s, if not 80s. The Graduate. That's a good movie, but it's not by Tarantino though. But it's a
who
good
is
movie.
that?
Who's it by? Let me.
Is that Mrs. Robinson?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
That's where the song came from.
Mhm.
It's
is it really?
yeah,
I didn't know that. I love
and
that.
the famous TikTok and the
Yeah.
famous TikTok. You want me to seduce you? Scene. That's
Mhm.
the, oh, that's where that comes
yeah,
from.
yeah. That's funny. I didn't know that.
Water break.
What a break.
Yeah. Also looking forward. Name of director break.
Fair.
But yeah, the whole like Sharon Tate thing is great. But we're talking about Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
But we're also
But
talking
it's
about my love.
Tarantino.
We're also talking about my love for Quentin Tarantino.
Hey, it's fair. I get it. Trust me.
Whenever I think of Tarantino, I just think of the foot shots in every movie. Every single one.
You
They're
can't get that
great.
out of your head now.
They're fantastic.
What?
You like the foot scenes? Like,
Yeah, because they're
yeah.
Who are you?
no, listen, okay. There's something beautiful and creative and artistic about it.
How can you be art? You know,
You can be
Go
artistic
ahead.
about dude.
mean-
In today's age, you can be creative and artistic about literally anything,
that is
and
fair.
everything.
I do remember the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood scene. I remember watching that and I was like, oh, I know what they're talking about because feet right on the dash. And I'm like,
And when Sharon Tate goes to the movies, you can see her dirty feet kicked up watching her own movie.
who played her?
Oh, what's Margot Robbie?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did a fabulous job.
Margot
Also-
Robbie.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Barbie last week. Yeah, you gotta love Margot Robbie.
I know Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Dude,
Best Harley Quinn. Best Harley Quinn.
Lady Gaga's about to be Harley Quinn in the
I'm
new
excited
Joker.
to see where that goes.
I'm excited to see that movie too.
Because Lady Gaga is honestly, I mean, the way she dresses, it just works for Harley Quinn. So I can't wait to see where it goes.
I agree. Also, I'm a huge Batman fan.
Oh, me too. And
and I'm
the
a big
new
Lady
one
Gaga
was
fan.
so good.
I can't wait for the new one. I know the Batman movie was fabulous, and I cannot wait for
Joker 2. I still have to see Joker 1.
the new
So
one. Oh, the Joker. Okay, the first one is it's a little gruesome. to
no,
be real.
I know it. I know it's gruesome. I've seen so many things, but the Joker is literally the definition of what depression is, though.
And what a villain is.
Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
Because he was just beat to crap. That's why he's the way he is.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's go back to
Yeah,
Pulp
sorry,
Fiction. No,
side
you're good.
tangent, side
I like
tangents
these
on-
off topics. I think I find them fun. I find them more interactive because it just shows you that we're having a good time.
Good
So,
conversation. Yeah, dude.
like, yeah. And it's not just like we're on a strict schedule. No, I like to just have a laid out schedule and go with it.
Yeah,
I
for
like
sure.
that. Okay, can I mention one thing
Go ahead.
about Pulp Fiction that I love? The
No, you're not allowed to
soundtrack.
talk. Yeah, go ahead.
The soundtrack that AJ has been playing, it is a 10 out of 10 soundtrack in my opinion, because yeah, it's in the 90s, but every one of those people have a love and an appreciation for the 1950s. So the incorporation of like 50s and 60s surf rock and just raw instruments and music ability and talent. Like you hear Ricky Nelson, you hear Link Ray's like rumble, but then you have Jules, who is like, Jungle Boogie, I'm all up in your face, and
That
And
worked
Al Green.
perfectly.
yeah, like Let's Stay Together. Like Jules is this cool, smooth talking Motown guy, and Vince is this rock and roll, 50s fanatic. So it's like a beautiful mix
Of
in the
everything.
soundtrack of these two characters. And then you have Butch, who is playing, Flowers on Your Wall, Flowers on the Wall by who is it? It's not the Oak. Oh my gosh, the Statler brothers. And it's like
Yes.
that's Butch. So it's awesome because you're following these three main characters, and you get to hear their music
in the
in
movie.
the soundtrack.
Yes.
So it's super cool.
It is really cool. I mean, soundtracks are a big part of storytelling. If they didn't exist, the movie wouldn't be able to flow.
I agree, and that's one of the things that makes the movie for me, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
So-
Soundtrack can change how you think of a scene, how a scene can go.
It's the mood.
It does set the mood.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember watching when I was a kid. I can't remember what show it was. I think it was something called Brain Games or something. And it was talking about the power of audio in movies, which is so true. And specifically, they showed a clip of a bird, and it was like happy music at like a park, whatever. And it was like this joyful, like uptone kind of music. And then showed the same clip with like a sinister kind of like almost like screeching like background. And it changes the entire mood of like a scene or anything. It changes, and even with just songs, it's like if you have an upbeat, it's gonna be this, and then downbeat, it's like nope, changes the
No.
whole thing.
That's so funny you mentioned that, because I know exactly what episode of Brain Games you're
Really?
talking about. I
I've
do.
never seen Brain Games.
We would watch it in health class on like Fridays, so I know exactly.
What is it on, if you don't mind me asking?
Is it on the History Channel or is it on Discovery?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Me and my dad would sit and watch it because it was my favorite show.
Yeah, I don't know. It was back when I had cable. I totally forget, but
Bill and I was one of my favorite shows when it comes to stuff like that.
Bill Nye was pretty good. That's just childhood right there.
It's funny because you say that now and then you see where he is now. It's like, dude, bro went crazy.
Oh yeah, he's yeah, you're right.
Anywho, back in Pulp Fiction, I'm going to continue what we were talking about. So I'm going to talk about some of the Easter eggs that I was able to find.
Okay.
I was only able to find 4, sadly. But yeah, there's a lot of board games laid out throughout the scenes with Mia, specifically because Mia was playing games with Vincent.
You're right.
So yeah, that's a fun fact, or that's an Easter egg that I was able to find. Oh, so yeah, this is more of a fun fact. I mean, it can be Easter egg, but I don't know specifically which film it's from. But you know the scene when after Butch pretty much kills that guy in that boxing fight?
Yeah.
And he goes in that taxi, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the background, you know how you could see the city landscape and all that?
Mm-hmm.
That's all in black and white film.
Really? Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. It is.
I didn't realize that until like slowing down and like glancing at it, and it was just so cool. And you don't see much films, or even today, you don't see old with the new media ever in a film anymore. because
Yeah.
it was like mixed recording of what was new for them at that time presently, and then old film mixed.
Yeah, like the cross media thing is super cool.
It is very cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have another Tarantino fun fact.
Go ahead.
I'm just full of them.
You love him, so why not?
I do love him. In every Tarantino movie, even the movies that he's an actor in, he has his own brand of cigarettes.
Oh, I'm about to talk about that.
Yep, he has his own brand of cigarettes in all of his movies.
Do you know what brand?
Red Apple.
You are right.
Yep.
It is Red Apple. I was about to say that is my next topic about his own product placements.
Yeah,
that he has.
which is so cool. Like in The Hateful Eight, they go to this cabin where, they're waiting out a storm, and even the Hispanic, horse driver asks for Roja Manzanas because he wants his Red Apple cigarettes, and it's just so cool, that product placement throughout his movies. It's cool because that little thing means that all of his movies exist in the same universe.
Exactly.
Which is so cool.
Which is hard to do sometimes because you get so mixed up. I need to make this film. And then he just thinks so much ahead and said, let's make it easy for myself. It's my own stuff.
Yep.
It's going to make it so much cheaper.
So cool.
You know what also was his own company?
What's that?
Or was his own product, I should say, that he made. Do you remember the burger that Jules ate? Do you remember
what's the name of it?
Big Kahuna Burger.
Big Kahuna
Yes.
Burger, yep.
That's also his own brand that you see in his other films as well.
That's cool.
You're right. And I remember seeing something on that, which is so funny. I'm trying to think. Do you know off the top of your head what other films?
I think it was
wanna say,
Reservoir Dogs.
Res Dogs
I
or
haven't
Jackie
seen it.
Brown.
There you go.
Jackie Brown's another great one.
I haven't seen it. I should.
It's good. The last time I watched Jackie Brown was on Christmas this past year. Also on Christmas this past year, I had terrible food poisoning.
Oof.
So now when I think of Jackie Brown, I think of being food poisoned. Thank you, Olivia.
Food poison
sorry.
is not fun.
No, shout out food poisoning.
Shout out food poisoning.
Uh-uh.
I am sponsored by food poisoning. I do not recommend you to take that.
Yeah, no fun. No fun at all.
So another Easter egg that I was able to find is, you know how every time that Vincent is in the bathroom, he's reading?
Yes, I did.
Do you know what book it was?
I don't.
He reads Modesty Blade by Peter O'Donnell. And I don't know what it's about, but it's pretty much why he is the way he is in the film.
Say it again.
Modesty Blade by Peter O'Donnell. It's like a red book. The cover of the book is red, pretty much.
I wonder if it's got like a crazy meaning. It says, oh, nope. Let's see. Asa, would you read that for me?
In her first adventure for British intelligence, Modesty Blaze, with her loyal lieutenant, Willie Garvin, must foil a multi-million-pound diamond heist. They travel from London to south of France, across the Mediterranean to Cairo, before battling against impossible odds, a private army of professional killers. You know what that sounds like to me?
Just another breakdown of Pulp Fiction.
Kill Bill.
That too.
A multi-million
Yep.
pound diamond heist. Okay. It's like Kill Bill is a multi-million-dollar operation. They travel all around the world travel all around the world before battling against impossible odds to defeat a private army of professional killers. That is literally Kill Bill, which is so funny because Kill Bill is mentioned also in that movie,
Yes.
the Fox Force 5.
He does.
Because Mia Wallace had a pilot where she was a trained assassin whose
Very hidden.
weapons were knives. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
funny because
He pre-did Kill Bill in Pulp Fiction.
pretty much
Yeah.
he was
That's crazy.
starting to write that script and he's like, I'm just gonna throw this in there as well.
That's so funny. Also, another quick Tarantino fact. He had his last movie done, which is like just recently.
Recently? Like
Yeah, like he's
like finished filming or finished writing?
But like both, like they're done. He had this whole movie, like his final movie was going to come out this year. He threw it away. He didn't like it.
Are you serious?
I'm like, yeah,
I'm doing some fact checks.
90% sure. Yeah, fact check it because like he was done with this movie and he scrapped it. He's like, it's not good enough.
Not okay. He said not every movie should be made, and one of those movies that will not be made, as the world learned on April 17th, which is called The Movie Critic, which was Bill and Tarantino's 10th and final film.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think though that Tarantino is like a really great filmmaker and director, but only has 10 films. It's just crazy to me because usually if you're that good, you're just pumping out movies left and right.
And I think that's kind of what proves his genius is like he doesn't need that many movies to prove it.
Exactly. Wasn't it Pulp Fiction one of those films that he almost said no to as well?
I actually don't know.
I don't remember, but I know a bunch of his hits where he just didn't like it.
Isn't he okay? Now, I don't know if this is true, and I don't think it's like verified or anything, but isn't there like an idea that like he has Asperger's syndrome, and that's why he's so particular on, which it's not like anything that like holds him back, like it makes it so much better, like it's like a gift.
I don't know. I think that just might be his. You know how smart people are.
Well, yeah, it's the genius part of it.
Yeah, he's literally a genius.
It's so interesting. I've always like his mind, like when he dies, they got to study his mind for science and just see all the creative juices.
I don't know. I think it's just a theory with a bunch of people because there's no facts. It's all Quora or
Reddit.
Quora or Reddit, yeah.
Yeah, I wondered just because I mean he does, and a lot of people. There's a lot of people who have Asperger's, and that's like a quality is the genius part of it.
It's funny because in 2009, this article came out. It was like Quentin Tarantino must have Asperger's and autism. I was just like, okay.
It's like, which I mean, it's not a
kind of bold to assume.
It's bold to assume.
Very bold to assume.
But I think the idea that they're putting behind it is not like a, I don't know, like it's a genius. It's pushing in like this idea. Rather, this is a whole other conversation, but like people with autism, they're not necessarily like.
It also depends on how.
Yeah.
Like how far you are on the spectrum you are.
Yeah, and it's a gift more times than not. Because it your brain works in such a cool way. So I wouldn't be surprised, but it's just an interesting idea.
Very. All right, I'm going to end with this section. I'll see you guys back on at 11:35. I'll give you guys some more time to listen to this wonderful soundtrack. This is AJ with the Plexi Film Show on WXUT 88.3. All right, welcome back to WXUT 88.3. It is currently 11:34, and this is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, and I'm with
Asa
and Olivia.
And we're going to be saying one of my last questions I have, unless you guys have other topics to add. But yeah, my question is, because I usually throw in a question related to the film. What is your favorite board game?
Does it have to be related to the film?
No, just favorite board game overall. The question is just related to the film. I choose.
Probably Settlers of Catan or Catan, however you say it.
Catan.
Catan. That's how you say it? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. You're normal. Yeah, Settlers
Who
of
says
Catan.
Catan?
Dude, everyone else I've ever talked to says
Catan.
Catan. It's Settlers of Catan.
It's Catan.
It's
Catan.
Bro, you're just saying that.
If you look at how English works, it's Catan.
Well, we're not.
It's Catan.
The game's not from. It's just not normal.
Fair. You know what? That's
so
fair.
it's Catan. Saying how it's supposed to be said.
Whatever. My favorite game is Life. I love that. I love that game. It was my favorite game to play when I was a kid.
I forgot we're still 6 years old.
Ow. I like the little players. I like
You like the little babies.
I did. I loved when
I wish they were separate like sizes, but they're all just the same size.
I loved it. I love that game so much. I'm trying to remember. I haven't played it in so long, but that was always my
played the
favorite.
Game of Life 2, which is only on video games, but the Game of Life 2 has so many more attributes to it, and it's so fun. because you know how in the game of life it's all about money. Now it depends on what you do. There's money points, which is like purchases or whatever, or like a house, you get extra points along with that. You get love points, which is like getting married, having kids, getting a dog, blah, 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 or doing interests that you like to do. Another one is knowledge. You get knowledge points.
Interesting.
So yeah,
Fun.
it's really fun. But, you know, of course, a game of life anymore is very short.
Bro, just got philosophical up in here. Got deep. Take it how you want it.
I like that game, and you know what game I got hooked on when I was in like middle school, high school was the Bit Life.
On mobile?
Yes, because
when it used to be free?
Oh, I paid for it.
Oh, you paid?
I literally paid for it when it came out because I love life. I think that was such a fun game, and it's like the same thing.
Bro, you're living life. Why would you want to play it?
I know, but it's so fun because then you get the little car and then you get the little whatever. It's just so fun. And I found out if you wanted to have a good life on the Bit Life whatever thing, you had to be Brazilian.
Really?
You literally had to be Brazilian, and then
the game is just a little racist.
Yes, it was strange. It was very strange. I don't know why that was the one that they picked, but
maybe it's the creator's choice.
Maybe they're Brazilian.
Maybe.
Probably. A little biased there. A little bit.
It's funny because talking about the game of life, it's one of my favorites as well.
Oh.
And I just remember whenever recess was canceled, me and my friends would be playing Game of Life, and during one of our game sessions, my friend had 3 cars just full of children.
You talking about like indoor recess?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were the
days.
days, man.
Yeah, for some reason, our school, specifically for my grade, whenever we left, then they let them outside whenever it was below, like, especially in the wintertime, if it was below 50, our teacher's like, no, I go outside.
Yeah.
It was just like,
That's
bro.
nuts. That's actually crazy.
And now they go outside when it's blizzarding. I'm like, I wish I could have been outside during the snow for school.
Yeah, for real.
Because whenever I got out of school, I would just go straight home and play in the snow because I never got to do it during school.
Yeah. My mom, she's a paraprofessional at one of the schools nearby, and she's got a recess coat because they take the kids out when it's freezing. So she's got to go out with them.
Yeah.
And she's freezing her butt off. And when I was in school, we weren't allowed to go outside if it was like, I think it was like under like.
I don't know why, because I remember, I don't want to say this, but 90s kids, I went through blizzards in the snow, and then those kids became teachers, and for some reason they did not want us outside at all for some reason.
It's their fault. It's all their fault. It's so interesting. I wish I could go back to I wish college had recess.
I mean, we have unlimited recess. It's just
You're right.
after class we can do whatever we want.
Well, I am going to choose recess from here on out.
I'm just gonna see you outside with a volleyball
Yep.
or a play Foursquare in the middle of the road somewhere.
Yep. And everyone can join me or fight against me because that's how it should be. We should have recess.
Fair enough. Another favorite game of mine, because it really depends on how many people you're playing with and the type of people you're playing with. The game Clue. I love Clue.
I've never played Clue. I
Neither
have
have
seen
I.
the movie. I love the movie.
The
The
movie
80s
is good.
movie.
The movie's great.
I need to play Clue. I
I'm
love mysteries.
sad that you never played Clue.
I know. Dude, I
Clue
seriously,
and Game
I
of
need
Life
to.
was my childhood, man.
I need to play Clue.
Can we just bring it to the station one day and play?
I love board games. I still love playing board games. So yes, we need to have a board game night here in studio on air.
On air. Ooh, that would be a good show. If someone just had a board game show.
Describe everything that's happening.
Yep.
+4. I am hopping this piece 4 times forward.
You know who could do that is Tanner with Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, let's just have a 16-hour Dungeons and Dragons-a-thon.
Oh
Yep.
my god, that'd be so fun. It's
I
funny
mean-
because I am right, because I've been wanting to play Dungeons and Dragons for how many years, and every time I try to join a campaign, the group I'd always try to find and join, oh, my group's not doing it anymore. Oh, great. I think the furthest I've gone into it is I had 2 sessions and my character sheet wasn't fully finished.
I don't know that much about Dungeons and Dragons. It is something I want to know about. It is something I want to play.
And that's
It
something
sounds
I'm
like
doing.
fun.
That's something I'm doing. Like, I just ordered the Dungeon Master's Guide. I'm getting the Player's Handbook. That should be showing up at least sometime this week, hopefully. Got it really cheap. It was $20 on eBay. So,
You seriously need to talk to Tanner. Shout out 50K and below.
heck
Great
yeah.
radio show here on 88.3 WXUT. But AJ, you need to talk to Tanner because he's obsessed.
He's obsessed. Then why doesn't he ask, bro? I've never heard him talk about D&D or board games. Ever.
Seriously, just mention it and he will go full nerd on you.
He'll drive. Sorry, Tanner, if you're listening, we're totally outing you here. He will
Very.
drive like to Cleveland. to
That is
play.
crazy.
And it's,
I would if I had a stable car.
Yeah, fair.
My car is crap. Awful.
You got a crap car.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
My car's catalytic converter got stolen at the school. Yeah.
Do you have one now?
It's just a straight pipe right now. Because the catalytic converter would be worth more than my car.
Crazy. I had a friend who, I don't know if it broke or it got stolen, but I don't know what that part does. But essentially, he couldn't accelerate his car at all.
Shoot.
Like, he would be pedal to the floor just to get up to 35 miles an hour.
That is crazy.
So that's like my biggest fear is like one day I get in my car and I'm like, oh, I can't accelerate for some reason. This isn't okay. So
It's terrible. My car has had so many issues. I probably should get a new car, but I am broke. Being a broke college student doesn't help.
yeah. What do you drive?
Chevy Cavalier 2003.
I don't know what that is. I wish I knew.
Do you want me
cars.
to pull up a picture?
I'll look at it. Asa, talk about your beautiful truck.
I have a 1997 Ford Ranger,
Ooh, those are nice. What color? Red?
black.
Ooh,
It's
even
like
better.
matte black. Yeah, it's a beater for sure.
I mean, those trucks have always been beaters, though, especially
Yeah.
that year.
Especially Rangers. I don't know. It's not gonna last me much longer. I love it with all my heart, though. It's a great truck. We've had very, very beautiful memories, and gosh, it got me through my senior year of high school. I moved houses in it. Like, the miles that I have made in that truck are miles of memories a mile. You know, beautiful truck. I'm gonna miss old Chief when I have to put him down.
I mean, if this tells you anything, the previous car I had was so much better condition. The only problem I had was I didn't have a rear view mirror. That was the only problem I had with my other car.
Why'd you have to get a new one?
I got into a car accident. Not my
Fair.
fault. Not my fault.
Not your fart.
Yeah, it's not. I farted so loud, so I scared them and
Broke
they hit
the
me.
car.
But yeah, their car was like brand new, and theirs totaled right on the spot. My car was fine, just the repairs would be worth more than my car, and that's why I totaled it.
Fair.
It was so sad because if this tells you how much I loved my car, it was a red Ford Focus 2004,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew up with cars as a kid, so you're gonna guess where this is gonna go. I got Lightning McQueen eyes for the sun visor.
Oh.
No way. That's so
Yes.
funny.
And my plan was to get, just cheap Lightning McQueen stickers, and I was gonna put that on my car and stuff. So I was planning on doing that, and then of course I got into the car accident and had to deal with that.
Yeah, that would have been legendary.
Hey, I had red seat covers. I had the Lightning McQueen eye sun visor, which was great. So
That's so cool. That's so funny, dude.
another board game that I really love and been getting into again, because when I first played it, I struggled because I have to admit, playing at a younger age is very confusing, but even starting it, like trying to learn, is confusing, but it gets really fun once you know it and know what you're doing. But even then, even if you're struggling, it's still a fun time. But Risk, have you guys played Risk?
I have heard of Risk. I don't know if I've ever
I have
played
to
it.
look.
Risk is where you try to take over the world, pretty much. You
Interesting.
you get handed soldiers and you place them all around the map and countries you have, and then you try to take over the world by getting more soldiers and such. It's a long game.
Okay, I think I've seen it.
Sounds like Catan.
It kind of does.
Catan.
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 Catan. Dude, you know what
Catan.
board game I love, and it's kind of boring, but I love it?
Monopoly.
Stratego.
I've never heard of it.
It's like capture the flag. You have all these. It's like chess. You have all these pieces, and you have to like capture the flag, and it's like war meets chess, and it's fun. Another game I love is chess.
Chess is good.
I
Chess
love
is
a good game of chess.
I have a glass set of chess.
I have a magnetic chess set from like the 50s. It's legendary.
Like the one for the road, like on the road.
Yeah.
It's like the tiny as heck.
No, it's not tiny, but it's actually pretty good size. But yeah, I don't know. I love chess.
Chess is good.
What about Sorry?
Oh my god.
Dude, sorry sliders go
Dude,
hard.
sorry sliders go hard.
Shout out Hasbro Games.
Dude, sorry sliders what made us actually say sorry compared to the game Sorry.
Good game. I love that game.
Let's just say I got some bruises from sorry sliders.
No way.
Because it'd get so aggressive because you go, ah!
Yeah.
You would
that's
just,
true.
at that point, you just didn't care about the actual rules. You just slide it across the whole board.
Right.
Oh, this is so hard. I was gonna say I lied about my favorite board game, but no, life is still number one. My second favorite would be Candyland.
Dude, Candyland's game shrunk so much.
Yeah.
It shrunk so much, yeah.
It's not as cool anymore. If you can find like a real old version, like it's neat, but like the new.
It's just very childish anymore. I mean, it's always been childish, but it's very simplified. There, that's the word. It's very simplified now.
Yes. And when I was a kid, like at least I don't know if it's the same with boys, but like as a girl, when I watched oh my gosh, what's it called? Finn and Jake, Adventure Time.
Adventure Time.
I wanted to be Princess Bubblegum.
Of course.
That's what I wanted, and it reminded me of Candyland because that was my favorite game growing up.
They live in the Candy Kingdom, so wow, very good connection there, Olivia.
Well, no, I don't know.
You combining connections. Good job.
I don't know if that's like a boy or girl thing where it's like, did you want to live in a candy forest when you were a kid?
No, but I can.
No, I wanted to be the
I
ice
can-
cream cone. You know the ice cream?
Yeah, the ice cream cone.
In the
Yeah.
Candyland. Oh my
Yep.
gosh. That game made ice cream look so good though.
It did. It made everything look good. Oh, that reminds me of Willy
They sh-
Wonka.
They should have made a Candyland movie.
I wonder if they did. It would not surprise me, but it would be too close to
Willy
Charlie.
Wonka.
Yeah, Charlie.
Willy
and the
Wonka or
Chocolate
Charlie
Factory.
Chocolate. Yeah.
That'd be a good one to analyze because that's a weird one. At least the
I feel
first.
like Clue's just the perfect amount of story because it actually has characters and a plot.
For the Plexi film show.
Oh, I mean, I could.
You could do Willy
could do
Wonka.
Clue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could do Clue.
A good one. If you guys have any suggestions for movies, TV shows, or video games that you want me to talk on the show, please send them to my Instagram at the Plexi Film. You can either look at Plexi Film or Plexi Film Show. You'll find it. I'm the only Plexi Film or Plexi Film Show. Trust me. It's a bright pink logo, so I promise you'll be able to find it. But yeah,
Shout out UT Squirrels as well.
Yeah.
very. I'd recommend. Anywho, would you guys, before I end the show, would you guys like to shout out your shows or any of your social medias that you would like to shout out?
Yeah, catch me on 88.3 WXUT Thursday nights from 10 to midnight. I play classic rock from the vinyl to cassette era. My show is called Flying with the Ace. Olivia is also on the show.
I'm your co-pilot.
She's my co-pilot. We fly at a
Co-host.
steady altitude of 35,000 feet. And yeah, we just have a great time talking about who knows what and listening to solid classic rock. So
You said Thursdays?
Thursdays from 10 to midnight.
I really wish, but I work Thursdays.
Dude,
That's literally the only thing that makes me sad is I can't be on your shows because I've been working Thursdays and Saturdays recently.
any day you have off, man. Any Thursday you ever have off, check it out.
Oh, I definitely will be on with you if
Dude,
I'm
yeah,
available.
be a co-pilot. We need a first mate, man. We need another co.
Yep.
And Olivia is currently
I don't have a show.
What are you planning on doing?
So in my heart, I would do a show. So I'm planning on doing a radio show. I don't know exactly on what. I have two different ideas. If I want to do something that like is for me, I would do like the meaning of music and go into like a lyrical analysis of like why a writer wrote something in a specific song, play it, and like go through the deeper meanings of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also thinking, you know, I'm a psych major, maybe do something for my major where it's like, hey, let's talk about psychology topics, stuff that you didn't know, just stuff about your brain that you didn't know that might be interesting for the general public, you know.
I could see you doing that. That'd be fun.
It would be neat, but
You could also deep dive in some like very psychological films, as in
Yes.
Donnie Darko.
Donnie
I love
Darko's
Donnie Darko.
wild.
I love it.
I need to do Donnie Darko. I
Do
have so
Donnie
many
Darko
films.
next.
Donnie Darko next, dude.
It's getting to Halloween time. It's getting to that date, October 26th.
It'll probably be right at the beginning of October when I do Donnie Darko.
You should,
Because I don't know if I should do it for
movie.
my 10th. I'll probably do it for my 10th show because this is 8. So it'll be my last film that I talk about before I switch topics.
Dude, that would be great. That's such a good movie.
Great
For
movie.
sure.
I love Donnie Darko.
Boogie and Gup Gup.
All right. Do you have any social media that you would like to shout out?
I don't have anything yet. But the next time I'm on, I promise I'll have something. I'll have a whole show and everything.
Yeah, keep a lookout for Flying with the Ace Instagram. I'm
Do you want me to make you one?
dude, I was thinking about making a business one and not having it on my phone, just having it on someone else's phone so they can monitor it, because I'm really bad with social media.
I know you are.
I don't like social media.
No, I get it.
so
I completely get it. I'm sadly the same way, but that's my job. Or
I get that.
job and what I like to do, I
Yeah.
should say.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So yeah, I will be making one. I will not be in charge of it though.
Fair enough. All right. This is the end of the Plexi Film Show. We have 8 minutes, and I'll be playing some more Pulp Fiction soundtrack, and then right at midnight, I'll be turning off and closing off and sending you back to Radio Boss. So yeah, this is AJ with the Plexi Film Show. This is end of episode 8. This is WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative.